Attack on Titan has brought a lot of change to universes. We have attacks that check 4s, card types like backups, blitzes on attacks instead of enhances, new powerful characters with unique archetypes, and I want to highlight 20 to 24 standard cards that have been made better because of these Attack on Titan design changes. Now, this is by no means an exhaustive list, and I'm not saying that all of the cards I highlight here are must plays now. I'm simply saying that these are cards made better. So maybe they were unplayable in the past, but now they're just fine. Maybe there's something you think about in sideboard for specific matchups against Attack on Titan characters. I'm positive that there's a lot more cards that could be highlighted that are not going to be in this video. And if you think of any, I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me about some cards that should have been on this list that I overlooked, because I definitely did not thoroughly go through all the thousands of cards that we could think about. But let's just highlight a few. It's a fun thought experiment. First off, attacks now in Attack on Titan have blitzes instead of enhances. The problem with this in Standard is that it's very, very hard to interact with blitzes. Most of the cancels right now specifically say cancel and enhance. You have characters like Jin where you can cancel and enhance on an attack, but now these new attacks don't have enhances. There are still some cards in Standard that can interact with these. Can't Escape Me and Team Dr. Ichigaki, to name a few. Instead of saying enhance, they simply say ability. Ichigaki was already seeing some fringe competitive play. I expect that to go up. Can't Escape Me was always, in my opinion, a must, at least 1x or 2x on its symbols, and that probably will stay the same going forward now. Also with blitzes, you can pseudo cancel blitz with a card like Cheerleader. Cheerleader is going to give something flash, and blitzes happen at the beginning of the enhance step before you play enhances. Well, a flash attack will completely skip the enhance step, meaning that you will also skip your blitzes. So if you use Cheerleader, give your opponents flash, they can now no longer use the abilities on their attack. On the flip side, you can use a card like Sudden Appearance, where you can say enhance your attack, flip, end this enhance step. In the past, if you use this as your first enhance on your attack, that meant you didn't get to use your attack. And so that was a big bummer, and this card has very, very rarely seen play. But now you can play an attack, use your abilities on your attack, use your blitz abilities, and then as your first enhance, flip it and end the enhance step. And now you got to do the abilities on your attack, but your rival never had a good opportunity to interact with them. All right, let's talk about card pool clearing. One of the most powerful characters in Attack on Titan is Mikasa, who is constantly clearing her card pool. Also, that seems to be the symbol identity for the air symbol in Attack on Titan. So One for All Full Cowling 8% Falling Roundhouse has a super long attack title name. This card used to sell for $4 on TCG Player. The lowest priced one at the moment, I just checked, is $30. The price of this attack is going through the roof right now, and it's all because of Mikasa. It says this attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage for each attack cleared from a card pool this turn. So every single time you're clearing something with Mikasa, you're going to be giving 8% another +1/+1. Luna Tejeris is a little bit even better than 8% falling, because it says it gets -1 difficulty for each card that has left your card pool this turn. So even if you use a foundation or an action, just anything that leaves your card pool, it's going to count towards minus difficulty for Luna Tejeris. So that air foundation, Marco's Potential, that says you clear it and your next attack is 3 damage. Now that's going to say -1 difficulty to Luna, and now you have a 10 damage Luna. So both of these attacks are going to see an increased amount of play. I didn't check the price on Luna. I'm positive that it's also been going up. If it hasn't, it should be. All right, we need a way to stop card pool clearing now. A foundation in Girl Power that I really haven't seen in decks up to this point, sideboard at best, but now I think it maybe could even be mainboarded. Great Buckler, flip. This attack cannot leave your rival's card pool during the combat phase. Your rival may spend 1 momentum to cancel this effect. A lot of times Mikasa is killing you on turn 2. Mikasa gets into these beast summoning loops, right? Beast summoning, plays another beast summoning, clears the beast summoning, pays 4 life, picks up the beast summoning, and as long as Mikasa has 4 life to pay, she just gets to go in pseudo infinite with a beast summoning chain. Well, use Great Buckler, say, hey, that beast summoning cannot leave your card pool anymore. Now, your rival can cancel this if they have a momentum, but a lot of times early on in the game, turn 2, turn 3, they probably don't have that momentum to spend to cancel, even if they wanted. And plus, a 1 diff flipping to discard rival momentum, that's already pretty good. Also, you get ultra compressed weights. It's a little bit better than Great Buckler on the ability. You get to remove it after an attack is played. It cannot leave its owner's card pool during its combat phase, so your rival doesn't get an opportunity to cancel this unless they cancel the response itself. But it is a 3 difficulty asset, and it checks a 4. So it's a much, much higher deck building cost than just throwing in a spam foundation. And it's a remove cost, whereas Great Buckler just says flip. So would not be surprised to see some Great Bucklers make their way to competitive decks in Atlanta. Okay, Attack on Titan's giving us all these high difficulty attacks, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 difficulty attacks. Well, we need a way to deal with these, and a great way to do it is Decoy Duplicate. Just get it out of their card pool, and then if they want to play another attack, another high difficulty attack, then they have to check it twice. Same thing with Dissolving the Conflict. King Ghidorah is going to go crazy with this card in this upcoming format. Just, hey, you just had to commit 3 or 4 resources to pass an 8 difficulty attack, put it back in your hand, do it again. Toru 2, I'm not putting characters on this presentation at all, but if I was, Toru 2 fits exactly here with Dissolving the Conflict. Just gets to say, hey, pick up your Colossus Titan attacks. Try and pass a 10 again. I dare you. Also, on the good side of high difficulty attacks, League Interview is one of the best cards to actually play these. League Interview is a card that I see beginners in the game play a lot, but then veterans of the game cut from their deck list. I think it's a little bit overrated. It's normally just a feel-good card. But I think it graduates from a feel-good card to an actually, this is good card with Attack on Titan, because it's a 6 check number 1, and you get to say your first check to play an attack, it's +1. A lot of times that was just a safety measure in an era where we were just playing 5 difficulty attacks as our leadoff and then stringing out 4 difficulty ones. It was just okay, if I check a 3, now it's a 4. But most of the time it was doing nothing. It was just kind of like blanking the stage there. Sometimes it gets this nice response flip for +1 to a check, but that's not a huge deal on a 2 diff, 3 mid block. So you're playing it because it's a 6 check and the first form says +1 to your check. Well, now when you're playing 8, 9 difficulty attacks, that's always going to be online. Probably very, very good in like a Smiling Titan, for example. Constantly improving. Okay, this says first enhance, commit a foundation. Your attack gets X speed. X equals your attack's printed speed. Okay, in the past, if your attack's like 5 speed, commit 2 foundations for 5 speed is not too bad. But now think about it. If you're playing a 10 speed attack, one of these high difficulty attacks with massive stats, commit 2 foundations for 10 speed, that's a crazy rate. You would obviously play a foundation that says commit for +5 speed. And now you're changing a 10 speed move into a 20 speed move. That constantly improving was sometimes good. We saw it in like the that like One Punch All Might deck, that the True Form All Might Detroit Smash. It was a big deal of just getting it extra speed to make it unblockable because you were just trying to one punch your rival and kill them from full health. And then it's kind of like fallen off the scene in competitive play, but I expect it could make a comeback here if we're committing 2 things for 8, 9, 10 speed. All right, one of the best attacks in Attack on Titan is Risky Encounter. I think it's so crazy good that it should be banned. Well, it's not probably going to be banned before Atlanta, so we're going to have to deal with it. And we need a way to get it out of their discard pile and not let them play it. Deception Dagger was already getting more and more expensive and more common in competitive decks, especially with Godzilla came out and we had that action combined firepower that they could block with it from their discard pile. And just using Dagger to get rid of a combined firepower was a big deal. Well, now we're also going to be getting rid of their Risky Encounter. That can be a huge deal. Even if you're not like playing a massive weapon package, I think you should probably be considering Deception Dagger now on all 3 of its symbols. Also, this attack, all 3 symbols are represented in Attack on Titan. So it's going to be having a lot of homes. I suspect the price and usefulness of Dagger just continues to go up. It's already a fine card. right? It's normally going to be like a 5/5 stun 2. Sometimes it gives something else stun 2 if you get it to your momentum. But the discard pile manipulation ability on this card has just been getting better and better. Where's your smile now? This is just a spam foundation. It's decently good in all matchups because of that response. After your rival's attack deals no damage, your next check gets +1. So it basically, it's like counts as 2 foundations on defense as long as you're able to get 1 attack completely blocked. But now that enhance is pretty darn powerful. Flip, add 1 card from your rival's discard pile to the bottom of their deck. That can be a game winner just to get an encounter to the bottom of their deck. That can save your life. Okay, let's talk about Foundation Destruction. The death symbol in Attack on Titan has gotten very, very efficient at destroying foundations. We already have characters like Marco Bot and Irwin now that do it pretty efficiently. We're also getting a lot of cards. Chomp is just probably one of the best actions in the set. Probably should have made my top 10 list. So an asset like Grenadier Bracers that says if you've destroyed a foundation this enhanced step, this gets +1 damage, and then you get to commit. It gets +1 damage for each foundation you have destroyed this turn. So it's like +1 damage on all your attacks, and then on your last attack it can be like +5, +6, +7 damage and just make a huge lethal move. It's also better because it has the air symbol. So you can use the action strategic maneuver from Attack on Titan to just free build this in on a kill turn, right? You build an asset from your discard pile, you're going to have to discard a card. But if you get bracers, if you can free build bracers, that can be the difference between just a nice attack turn and a lethal attack turn. Luna Ring has already been pretty good in sideboards, destroying a rival asset. But now the bottom enhance, the +1 damage for each card that has been destroyed this turn, probably just gets a little more efficient now. Okay, face down foundations. We have 2 characters now that can pick up face downs, both of the Armins. And then Lightning Rod is also just a great turn 2 card for Mikasa. You get to have more foundations. If you lead double, like if you built 4 turn 1 as Mikasa and then you lead off turn 2 with double Lightning Rod, you now have 8 foundations. You're probably just going to play out all the attacks in your hand and draw into more attacks, and you have a very good chance of killing your rival on turn 2, thanks to the build 2 from Lightning Rod. If you play this on Armin, which both the Armins, I believe, have the order symbol, then you can, if you build a face down attack, you can now pick it up. Reconstruction, remove, build the top card of your discard pile face down. This has always seemed like Fringe overhaul play, but now it's maybe Fringe Armin play. Again, I'm not saying it's like a must add now. It's just a card that's probably gotten a little bit better. Okay, Reiner is going to be obliterating our stages, and we have to be prepared for it. Chivalrous Competitor. It used to be everywhere when it was first released. And then as the flip draw ones got just better and better and better, it started to become more of a choice as to whether or not you played it. And we saw some decks just kind of move off of it. I now think that Chivalrous Competitor is back to just being a must 4X card on all 3 of its symbols. You have to have it. It's going to stop things like Chomp. It's going to stop things like Final Words. It's going to stop Reiner. I mean, it's not going to stop Reiner for forever, but just keeping a little bit of your stage intact so that you can actually backswing Reiner and win the game can be a big deal. Okay, Disciplinary Action. This is kind of similar to Great Buckler. It's one of these new girl power cards that didn't see a lot of play, but now maybe is its time to shine. Response flip. After a foundation leaves your stage due to a rival effect like Ruin, build a foundation from your discard pile committed. Build any foundation. You can go in and even if it's committed, like you could still build like the 4 diff. I can't remember the name of it, but where you take damage, you flip, and you gain 2, draw 2. It's that Hood Nomu foundation. I can't believe I can't remember it, but what can you do? But you can pick any foundation from your discard pile and build it. You can even just build another Disciplinary Action if you wanted to. Okay, let's talk about reboots. I decided to go with the term reboot instead of reset because you're really going to need cards that blank out or completely deal with one of the stats of your rival's attacks. Attack on Titan is giving us all these high difficulty, high stats attacks. It's very much the world of Attack on Titan with these massive Titans just obliterating the humans. So we need a way to deal with them. Barrier Shield and Pageant Queen are both basically blanking out the speed of a rival's attack. Hey, take that 10 speed move, take it to 1. Barrier Shield, take that 10 speed move to 0. Also Breaker 2. So Breaker is an ability that's probably also gotten a little bit better here. It's going to make our rival have a harder time passing their high difficulty attacks. You could also look at the other side of like Referee, Jury, Invincible Body, ways to reboot the damage of a rival's attack. Again, resets, just taking something back to printed is probably not quite enough. Reboots and resets have gotten more important every single set because now our card pool is like thousands and thousands of cards. Every set that comes out and adds to the card pool, competitive decks are just getting stronger and stronger, meaning that it's not enough just to have a stage of foundations that say commit for -2 or -3 speed. That is not enough when our rival can pretty consistently just yeet 20 speed, 30 damage moves at our faces. We need a way to deal with this. So resets and reboots, they've been going up in value every single set. I think you're absolutely going to need to have reboots in any competitive deck. Okay, Attack on Titan's giving us a lot of ways to discard cards. We're getting like Horrifying Realization, which is kind of like Botan's Coaching 2.0. Another spam foundation that says flip, both people discard 1 and draw 1. Both of those spam foundations are going to be kind of everywhere. So a card like Recovery Time saying after this card leaves your hand due to your rival's effect, draw 2 cards. This card is just going to be better. It's going to be online in probably like 50% of matchups. That bottom response, or like Ravages of War in Attack on Titan, forces us to discard. In Attack on Titan, it's become more important than ever that we protect our hand as a resource. Of course, Recovery Time is not going to work perfect against like Unexpected Outcome or Farewell Between Friends, but it is going to help us when they hit us with like Horrifying Realization. Now we're going to be discarding 1 and drawing 3. And the top enhance is online almost all the time, and it's just a 1 mid breaker 1. So it's an already good card, just made a little bit better. I put Any Means Necessary on here because Attack on Titan is giving us 2 cards that say when you discard it, you get to draw, Feral Shriek and Wish Hard. And so now in a character like Pony, who was already probably top 25 character in the game, probably now like a top 15-ish character in the game, in my opinion. I've seen a lot of people saying top 5 character because Pony gets to, on the Earth symbol, play Any Means Necessary and Feral Shriek and Wish Hard because they're attuned symbols on Pony symbols. And so she gets access to 12 cards that say, when you discard this, draw a card. Okay, life gain and damage reduction. The life symbol in Attack on Titan is very much built around life gain. And one of the best symbols on the life symbol, one of the best symbols on the life symbol. All right, one of the best characters on the life symbol is Ymir. And when Ymir transforms, and she says that every time you gain health, it's basically like +1 damage to your attacks for the rest of the turn. If Ymir assembles 2 or 3 immortal shapeshifters in her stage, she just goes crazy because each immortal shapeshifter all of them can respond every time something's destroyed for +1 damage. Then you can respond, check a 5. If you do gain a health, you can respond with all of your shapeshifters every single time something is destroyed, meaning that very, very quickly, your Ymir attacks can just be getting like +7, +8 damage. Ruthless Mockery on the damage reduction side says that after you block with this card, rifle attacks get -2 damage for the rest of the combat phase. This is just another way to stop yourself from dying on turn 2 to Mikasa strings. You know, when Mikasa sends out 10 attacks at you, the big problem with those attacks is that they're 3 damage, 4 damage, 5 damage moves. These are not these massive attacks. It's just that she sends so many of them that they kill you. Well, with Ruthless Mockery, you're saying, all right, that's getting -2 damage. So if I don't block 5 attacks over the course of this turn, this could save me 10 health. Could be a pretty big deal. Also, we're getting a ton of damage reduction on the Chaos and Death symbols in Attack on Titan. And I think they're actually pretty good cards on those symbols. So a card like Weapon Clash, it's not here, but it's probably gotten a little bit better. You could probably build an entire death deck around damage reduction. Okay, finally, speaking of the death symbol, it's just Reiner. Reiner is going to be everywhere. Enormous Axe is one of Reiner's best foundations. When you destroy it, you build the top card of your deck face down, and then you can respond the human side of Reiner and just build your enormous axe face down committed. Split body control. We need to obliterate our rival stage using Ruin. We need their cards to be face down, right? Reiner does not like looking at a rival stage of face up foundations. So things like split body control, smiling death from Attack on Titan help us flip our rival stage so that we can then ruin those foundations. These just make Reiner really, really efficient. We're going to see Reiner everywhere in Atlanta until something is done about him. Or not. I don't think he's unbeatable at the moment. It just feels bad when you do lose to him is the biggest thing. Nobody likes not having to have any resources. It's just kind of like one of those feel bad things. But he's going to be everywhere. So we need to be prepared for him. So these two foundations are foundations that Reiner really, really likes. And that's going to do it. Those are some standard cards made better with Attack on Titan. So what do you think? Do you disagree with any of the cards that I put here? Or is there anything that I missed that you would like everybody to know? If there is, please, please, please put that in a comment below. I would love to learn about it. Again, I just made this really as a thought experiment. It was fun to put together, and just think about characters that could best use these cards. But that is going to do it for me. Before I let you guys go, let me remind you that I opened a Chrome Rare Beast Titan on my case opening stream last week, and I am going to be sending this Beast Titan to a viewer. I'm doing a contest, a deck building contest. You have to support the channel. It's like $5 a month to support the channel. You can sign up, submit your list, and then cancel. I won't care. I'll just be appreciative that you supported the channel, at least for that month. And then you will have an opportunity for Beast Titan. You have to build a deck using 4-check tribal or 2 to 3 difficulty attack tribal lineups. You can go watch the video that I made like 3 or 4 days ago to see all the specifics, but I've already received like 6 or 7 entries with some very, very spicy lists. I can tell that it's going to be difficult to decide which 2 lists are going to play it off to see who the winner is. But September 7th, that's the deadline for that contest. I won't rehash everything right now, but go watch that video if you haven't yet. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next time.